had enough. We're going to kick off in 2 minutes, okay? So I'm just going to start because we're filming as well, I'm going to start the recording. Yeah, because... Is that okay? Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. All right, because we're filming as well, I'll probably be jumping off in between, not obviously when I'm talking, to start and stop, pause the recording. So 2 minutes, we'll kick off, okay? Alright, yay! Nice to see lots of familiar faces here. And I want to thank you for coming out. This is our first ever YouTube Stories night. And I thought it would be a great idea because as individual subscribers, and most of the time it's people milling around or talking to everyone, I thought we could night where we actually tell a story, to talk to you guys about something. And I was reading some of the social stars now. Yeah.
You are. Yeah, we want your autograph.
Anyway, to get kind of warmed up, because I haven't spoken in front of a crowd for a few months, and tonight we got a sponsor called Mot Dang, and they do hot sauce, and we're giving away, I think we've got 8 prizes to give away, and we're going to do, so I'll be doing random history questions. So we'll do one now to kick off. So I've got a question, okay, a history related question, and the prize will be a set of 3 hot sauce. There's a green, a red and a yellow, and a BangkokPat t-shirt. And this is as worn by Tim Newton. The same design. Yeah, so
that's extra.
So the question is, it's going to be a historic question, of course, and the first person to shout out the answer will win this. And I didn't write any questions down, so I've got to think of something Nana, Sukhumvit related. That's what happens when you come up here and you try. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that someone will be able to answer. Something about Bangkok, of course. Yeah. Actually, now I know how. You know when you get comedy nights, and they always put the shit guy on first.
That's it.
Yeah, and this is what it must be like. But we're not trying to be funny. That's the thing. It's not a comedy night. I'm sure there will be funny things talked about. Okay, so question will be, what was the name of the bar that used to be just up the road here? It shut down about 4 years ago.
Cheap Tommy's. I got it first.
I had someone shout Hooters. Yes. It was you. Was it more recent?
Well, it's only close a year ago, so it can't be that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it closed because of COVID, right?
It was open until a year ago. Never been there.
All right, well, you got the question. All right, let's kick off properly. and start. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. You probably know I've done the channel for 5 years. It's been an interesting journey, and when I started, it was more about just trying to make videos for fun. And I looked around on YouTube to see what people were doing. There was no history really, and that was always my thing, because when I was growing up as a kid, I used to go to the local library, and they had all the information about my area. They had photos, they had maps, they had lists of things. So that fascinated me. And I thought, so my idea of history was from that. So when you explain history, you get as much as every single little detail as you can and tell that story. So that kind of rubs off in my videos. So there's, it gets nerdy, it gets deep, it gets, interesting. So that was kind of like the background. And during COVID, a lot of people were sitting at home watching us. There was a few of us who started during that time. And I always thought it would be great to sort of gather a bunch of YouTubers together in the future, because before I met any YouTubers, it was like you were all a different species basically. I thought everyone was against each other, everyone was jealous of each other, because that was the impression you got from people making comments and say, oh, I bet you're watching out for so and so to see what video they did. But that wasn't the case. So I'll tell you a bit about myself actually. So my mother was Thai. I grew up in London, North London. Is there anyone in from London? Spurs. Yeah. Spurs. Anyone from London? Oh, I grew up in Finsbury Park. It was a very interesting area, very diverse, very, very colourful. There was kids in my school from all different countries, so we kind of grew up learning about each other's heritage and culture. And my mum died when we were young, so I didn't really learn much about my culture in my teens or anything. And yeah, there was kids from different backgrounds, and there was also kids from criminal backgrounds, being Finsbury Park. So I went to school with kids who came from criminal families, and that kind of clashes when you're into history, because they'll ask you a question like, oh Pat, who was responsible for the English Civil War? And me doing the history thing, but thinking about their criminal background, I'd say, I don't know, I'm not a snitch, So and it was that kind of scenario. And growing up, I became a DJ, and you got to meet a lot of these kind of people in pubs and bars and clubs and stuff. So my journey to Thailand was not accidental. I worked in a Thai restaurant in the 90s in London, and I hadn't been to Thailand. And the restaurant was run by some family friends. And it was at the time of The Beach, the book had come out, and that sold millions, yeah? And there were loads of people who were coming to the restaurant. It was really busy. It was right in the middle of Finsbury Park. It was called Cats. And people were just going to Thailand, or they're just coming back. And because I was half Thai, I was working in the Thai restaurant. All these people were talking about Thailand with me. And they all assumed that I knew what they were talking about. I knew all the places they were telling me about. And I didn't. But I thought, I can't really tell them that, I don't know what they're on about. So for about a year, I pretended I knew what they were talking about. I bluffed it for a year, and if they'll talk about Bangkok, I'll say, oh yeah, the traffic's terrible, it's polluted. Or they'll talk about the beach, I'll say, oh, it's a lovely beach, it's too hot, blah, blah, blah. So finally I thought, I've got to go to Thailand and see it for myself. So I took a few holidays, and then around about 2001, I found myself at a loose end. I thought I'd go and work. I was going to work on fishing boats in New Zealand. And on the way I was going to stop in Thailand for a few weeks and sort of prepare myself to go out fishing for, I think it was like a month at a time. But I never made it to New Zealand. So I ended up building sort of a bit of a group of friends in Bangkok. So I knew lots of Thai friends from London before I came. So when I first moved here, it was tricky making friends and meeting people, because people said to me, "Oh, you should meet other people who are half Thai." And so I tried that. Now, if you've lived in Bangkok a long time, if you're an expat, and you have kids who are half Thai, or you know kids who are half Thai, you'll know that most of them are from pretty affluent kind of backgrounds, you know, with rich parents. And so me from Finsbury Park, I went to these places trying to meet these other kids. Oh, they weren't kids, they were people my age who were half Thai. I was 25. And I couldn't click with anyone because they all sort of had this bubble. So I then thought I've got to seek out other expats who live here. And there used to be a forum online called Ajahn Forum and Thai Visa. They were the two main ones. That was the social media back then. If you've heard of Thai Visa, you'll know it's mostly a bunch of very bitter people. So that wasn't good for social life. And so I went to places like the Londoner, the Bull's Head. Billy, he used to run the Bull's Head for many years. And it was in the Bull's Head that I started to, I met other expats who I could talk to and ask for advice from. And I remember there was one guy who told me, he sat down next to me, he was telling me all about, you know, he said he lived there 15 years, and he was telling me all about making friends and life, and he was warning me about Thais. And he was one of these guys who like many of these YouTubers who come here for 3 months and they know everything. He really thought he knew Thai culture, and he'd only hung out in expat bubbles. So he was telling me, he goes, yeah, Thais, they hate us. They hate us when we come and move here because and this was his accent, he goes, we come over here, we take all the best women, we flash our money around, and then he sort of pulled me close, and he goes, we've all got bigger dicks than that. So I sort of took it from that, sort of that guy. I thought, well, you can't really take too many of these kind of people seriously, because then there was other people I met who, like the ex-special forces types, the ones who would tell you all these stories, and they tell you like, oh yeah, I was in Iraq, and then they'd get into it, and then you'd ask them something, and they'd say, oh yeah, but I can't tell you what I was, I can't tell you. So my sort of first few years living in Bangkok, 2002 to 2009, I was a DJ during that time, and there was only a handful of clubs here where foreign DJs played, and there was only about 4 foreign DJs in the whole of Bangkok. So with the house music I had from London, it was quite, I'm not saying easy, but it was, you were a novelty if you was a foreign DJ. So I had regular work, and I lived the nightlife lifestyle for years and years, DJing late nights, and then by 2009 I had enough. I had to go back. So I'm thinking maybe I'll tell you the next part after we get our first YouTuber on. And he's a guy I met you about 3 years ago, Serg. First time we met in Assault. And there was a YouTube kind of family where we all know each other. We meet each other at meetups, or in Adam's case, I met him in the street along the along the railway tracks, by the canal, and you bump into him randomly, yeah. And I remember the first YouTuber I met actually was Jeroen. You made globaltravelmate, Jeroen. He's gonna be up later. And I was at a stage in my channel where I wasn't sure where I was going. You know, the history stuff was getting interest, but it didn't grow the way I thought it would. Because on YouTube, you get these videos done by these, you get these sponsored videos by people telling you how to grow your channel, like TubeBuddy or VidQ, and they tell you how to go viral with videos. And I was trying all that stuff, you know, and it wasn't working. And then Jeroen, he left a comment on one of my videos, telling me that, you know, you should have more subscribers, and maybe, you know, we can meet up and have a chat. And so he gave me some very important advice, which helped me grow the channel. So anyway, I thought we'd get our first YouTuber on and give it up for Serg, ladies and gentlemen.
The first victim here. All right, I want to start off thanking Pat for putting this together, for everybody coming down here, and I appreciate all you guys that have come down here for this event, and all of you that have subscribed to watch all of our videos over the years. But give it up for Pat for putting this whole thing together. All right, I'm not as good at improvising as some of these other guys, so I've got some notes here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'll tell you a couple little different stories about different things in my life, and hopefully you'll find it funny, or at least you'll laugh at me. So my name is Serg, for those of you that don't know me, and I run the channel LifewithSerg. I was born in Russia, moved to America when I was 9 years old. I spent 42 years living mostly in California and then a year in Texas before coming out here. And my background's been mostly startup recruiting, doing some financial stuff. I spent 12 years in law enforcement in the San Francisco Bay Area, and patrol sergeant. I was a public information officer. I did all sorts of stuff there, and you know, that was really great. But you know, I'm just thinking about some things like when I was a kid in Russia, and you know, I was 9 years old before we moved here, and I remember having friends from the U.S. sending my parents some of these. Oh, there we go. Sending some of these gifts, and one thing I remember they sent a box of crayons, and I had never seen crayons as a kid in Russia because we really didn't have anything. And I spent like 5 minutes trying to get the tops off of them because I've never seen such a thing. I thought they were like marking pens. So if you guys have never seen a crayon, it's basically like a wax pencil, and it has paper around it, and it was really, really difficult to get that off. You know, other things, again, this is things that we don't really talk about on YouTube, as what Pat wanted, so I'm going to give you some background on some things. And one of the dichotomies we had in Soviet Union, Russia at the time, was, I remember standing in line for milk for my little brother when I was 7 years old, because you just couldn't get groceries. However, there were vending machines everywhere that sold beer with mugs. So as a 6-year-old, I could have bought beer, but milk was near impossible to find for like my little baby brother. So it was a really interesting experience, especially having moved to another country as a 9-year-old to the U.S. And I think it made me appreciate, you know, coming here. So that was really good. And like I said, guys, I spent like 12 years in law enforcement. That was really fun. I enjoyed helping people. It was a really good job. Unfortunately, I had to retire for medical reasons. I developed a gluten allergy, so I couldn't eat donuts anymore. So you know, they had to fire me. Actually, no. I'm Jewish, so I'm more of a bagel guy. So I'm more about bagels. You don't get many Jewish cops. Most Jews end up being, you know, doctors or lawyers or show business. Oh shit, here we are. So that's kind of my background. And you know, law enforcement was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed that. And I had a really good team. It was really fun to work with. I loved serving the community. As cheesy as that may sound, that was one of the highlights, was just helping people. I got to be the public information officer. I did all the TV, radio appearances, all the newspaper stuff. and I also worked special ops and some other things. And I did some stupid things in the beginning as a rookie. I'll never forget a couple of these things. One of them is I was following somebody and I was going to pull them over for some kind of a traffic violation. And I was new and I was kind of nervous at the time, so I waited too long until we were in the Jack in the Box drive-thru. And now this person is ordering food and I end up initiating a car stop on this person in the Jack in the Box drive-thru. And my whole team just gave me so much shit for that because they were convinced that I was just sitting in the Jack in the Box drive-thru and they wanted to look bad, so I decided to pull some guy over in front of me. But that was kind of an embarrassing situation. But I'll tell you one other quick story here from that. There was actually two of them. So dealing with the public was really great. And where I lived in and worked actually in Santa Clara County in Northern California, methamphetamine was probably the biggest drug that was there. It was really heavily used. And meth heads, they take everything apart, they disassemble everything. It's a pretty nasty drug, pretty harsh to deal with for people. And I'll never forget this one guy that I stopped. And I stopped this guy, and he's obviously high, and we do like cursory pat searches to make sure of any weapons, and he's got something in his pocket. I'm like, what's in your pocket? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, do you mind pulling it out for me? And he goes, sure. So he pulls it out, a nice meth pipe and a little baggie of crystal. I'm like, okay, where did that come from? I don't know. I said, well, wait, it's in your pants. I shit you not. He looks at me and he goes, these aren't my pants. I'm like, I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, we're gonna play a game of chess with somebody who's, never played checkers. I said, okay, well, where did you get the pants? He's like, I don't know, man. I woke up and they were on the floor and I put them on. And he did this with a straight face. He did this with a straight face, and I was like, okay, buddy, that was interesting. And it was a really fun career. There was the other story I'll tell you, and then we'll move on to some other stuff, was we used to work in teams. We didn't work two people to a patrol car. We just had another partner or so. And one night, my partner and I, we went to this Chinese restaurant. And we usually were pretty careful where we would eat, because you never knew people were pro-law enforcement, anti-law enforcement. Are they going to spit in your food? Or, once is okay, but if they spit in it 3 times, it kind of alters the taste. So we go to this Chinese restaurant, and it's a Chinese family that runs it. And my buddy and I are sitting here, and the waiter comes over, and he looks down at me, and he says, are you retarded? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And he looks back down at me, and he says, are you retarded? I'm like, retarded? Like, maybe. I look at my partner, and my partner looks at me and goes, this guy knows you. I'm like, shut up. So we're looking at each other like, I'm not offended, we're just trying to figure out what he's saying, this older Chinese man. And I said, I'm sorry, what is it you're trying to ask us? And he looks at us and he says, are you ready to order? I'm like, oh my God, he's asking for ready for order just through a thick accent. And that was, we laughed about that for a long time. You have to be there. But that was kind of funny. And some other things, dating. There was a lot of people dating apps, everything. And I'll never forget this one date I had, because it still blows my mind. And I've told this story before. I go on a date with this girl named Jess, and I spend like 40 minutes driving to meet her in Pleasanton, California. And she's an hour late. Okay, fine. She doesn't even say, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm like, okay, strike one. And we're sitting there and we start talking, and she says, hey, I love hiking. I like going hiking in the woods. And I'm like, okay, I haven't hiked in a while. We'll go hiking. She says, no, but I want to go deep into the woods, Northern California and some other places. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Let's do it. Do you mind if I bring along my handgun? I mean, I carried firearm 24/7 because law enforcement, even when I was off duty, were still, required to act. And I just felt that it was something important for me to do because I was trained. So I said, I'm going to bring a handgun because there might be bears. There's bears in these woods. And she said to me, I don't think you should bring a gun. And I said, well, why not? She said, well, it's his home. You can't bring a gun into another person's home. And I said, okay, well, what happens if the bear comes out? What am I going to do? I want to be able to protect you and protect myself, because I know I could outrun you, so, you're going to be fodder. She said, you're going to have to fight him. And I said, excuse me? She was dead serious. She She said, "You're a man, you're gonna have to fight this bear hand to hand." And I was sitting there looking at her going like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then I figured, you know what, I'll take her somewhere else. I'll fight a squirrel in a local park, kind of show her my dominance, and maybe we can move on, to the bear thing. But this is a true story, And not even that. Then she says, "I want to see pictures of the appliances that you have in your house." And I'm like, okay, this is way too weird. I like kinky stuff, but appliances? What are we doing here? And to top it off, 2 weeks later, I was like, I'm not going out with this girl. And 2 weeks later, this girl messages me and says, "Hey, I need a ride to San Francisco airport." I'm like, okay. She goes, "Yeah, can you pick me up at 4:30 in the morning?" And I'm like, "Wait, you want me to pick you up at 4:30 in the morning after one date?" I wouldn't ask my best friend to do that for me. This was kind of way out there. How are we doing on time, Pat? Oh, that's not good. So that was really, really kind of funny what she wanted. And I just remember living in Russia.
Did you pick her up?
No, I literally said to her, like, "Are you joking?" We were having this conversation because she called me at 10 at night. And I'm like, "Oh, I remember this girl. She's the one that was wanted to see my appliances." I spent like years trying to figure out what kind of kink that is. I have no idea what the hell that's all about. And
Did you get married or something? Or?
No. There was no date after that, And I just asked her, "Are you joking?" And she said, "No, I'm serious. Come pick me up." And I was like, that's not how people work, especially because we just met once. So I did not pick her up and take her to the airport, because I would have to drive 45 minutes out of my way to pick her up, take her to the airport. It was just kind of hilarious. But growing up in Russia, there was a lot of propaganda. I remember seeing a lot of propaganda about Americans. It's like anywhere you go, especially communist Soviet-era Russia. And, always the rich, fat Americans, and, how they mistreated people and everything. And I ended up being one of those two things. So, fat. So I got halfway there. But, coming here to Thailand was something that was really on a whim for me. It was during COVID. And I was watching Chad, CB Media, back when he was doing the videos where he was wandering around, getting lost during COVID. He's removed all of those, made them private. I understand why, because it screws up the algorithm. But I was sitting there one night, and maybe I had 1 or 20 drinks, I don't remember. And I thought, that sounds like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to go to Thailand, sell my house, sell everything I own, and start a YouTube channel. And then, when I woke up the next morning, slightly sober, I was like, okay, that sounds like a great idea. So that's what I did. I sold my house, sold everything. I went to Texas for a year, kind of during COVID, waited it out a little bit, and then ended up here. And my whole goal was just to come out here, make videos about things that I enjoy. I am kind of all over the place if you look at my library of videos, because I tend to make videos about things that are interesting to me. And that's why you won't see me making videos about certain subjects that I just don't find interesting. So I'm a little picky with that. But it's been a great ride here for 4 years. I've met a lot of wonderful people. I've met all these other YouTubers. I think Adam was one of the first people I met. Walking somewhere in Sukhumvit, saw him in an alley. That doesn't sound right. He walked up to me, and the first thing he says, like, "Hey, bro." No, you good? Same thing with Pat. He was recording. And, as I mentioned in my video with Pat, I really want to invent a drinking game, because Pat makes these really interesting videos where he talks about history, and he goes through so much recording and so much time that he changes shirts 6 or 7 times. And I think we should create a game called Shots with Pat. So basically, every time Pat changes his shirt, you have to take a shot in the video. I guarantee you, nobody's going to be surviving it towards the end. But we have a great community here, and people like Pat, they put a lot of really great things together, and I've really been enjoying it. Really thanks to all of you guys for coming up here, supporting us, because without you, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, we make the videos, but if people don't watch, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to wrap this up real quick, but one of the things I remember towards the end of my career in law enforcement was driving along, and here comes a car driving the wrong way on a 4-lane road, 2 lanes each way. He's driving the wrong way, which to me was a clue that something was wrong. So pull this guy over. He gets out of the car, and I see his pants are getting progressively wet as he's standing. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I looked at him and I said, what's going on there? And he's like, I peed my pants. And I said, okay, well, why did you pee your pants? And then he looked at him again and he goes, no way. He was drunk. These aren't my pants. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll bring on the next person who's going to be Adam. Or I'll give it back to Pat.
Thanks to Serg. Because we're recording it, we each got to change the mic every time, so that way the audio goes onto the camera. Yeah, Serg, we did a video last month when we went around, and I do walking tours, right? And often the walking tours are 5 hours, and we go to places usually where we don't do commercial tours. We don't go to the Grand Palace. We don't go to Keisone Road and stuff. And with Serg, I thought I'd take him on a sort of back street sort of exploration across the river as well. So yeah, Serg, that was a lot of fun, mate. Actually, Adam, I first met Adam when I was filming in Nana, and I was on the bridge next to Soy 7.
Alleyways,
I was on the bridge next to Soy 7, and I was filming on the bridge. And when I film stuff, I have to memorize it to say it, because you can't read off a thing because it looks quite obvious. And so often I do 10 or 15 takes to get it right. So I think I was on the 10th take, and because I had the camera pointing towards me, I wanted Nana BTS in the background. So when people walk across, they've got to walk in front of the camera, so I stopped. Anyway, I noticed that this guy had been standing there for a while waiting. I thought he was polite. And then we had a little chat, and it turns out, yeah, he was he had a channel and everything. And I remember because he said to me, oh yeah, I said, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to eat street food down there in Soy 7. And then when I left you, it started pissing down with the rain. It was like, and I thought of Adam, and I didn't meet him again until like probably about a year or a year and a half later. And I always meant to ask him about that, because you know what Bangkok's like in rainy season. Now, I saw a comedy night about a year ago, and I don't know what it is with travelling comedians. They come to Bangkok, and they always got to do like real stereotypical. They always do a ladyboy joke, and if you live in Bangkok and you know all about it, and these guys come in, they think they're funny. And I heard this guy tell a joke about Big C supermarket. He said I was walking down the street and I saw a shop called Mini C, because they have small shops called Mini C. And he said this, and it totally fell flat. Silence. No one laughed. He goes, surely that Mini C, it's not a Mini C, it's just a C, right? Exactly. It wasn't very funny. So yeah. So I mean, I've seen plenty of comedy over the years. In the 90s, I used to do the after-show parties for a place in Dingwalls in Camden. It was called Jonglers. Now they're a big brand, and I saw loads of TV stars who are famous today on British TV. I saw them, trying their hand. They were getting 75 quid a night, doing 20-minute sets. I saw some of the most famous faces. I saw them die on stage, and the most popular heckle is, they'll come up on stage, they'll try and do a couple of jokes, and then someone will shout like "taxi" or "fuck off," something like that, which isn't very nice. So I'll do a giveaway. I'll give away some more of this sauce. Now, one of the milestones on my channel, there's been a few milestones. One of them was finding the location of the Clash album cover, Combat Rock. Some of you might know it. And the reason why I did that is because I know the Clash. I know their songs. I wasn't a huge fan though. But I'd seen on social media for years and years people posting up photos of Macasam and the railway tracks. and claiming they had found this location. And me being a bit of a nerd with the history and exploring, I'd say it can't be this place because, you know, that's in the background. So when I did the video, I didn't intend on finding it, but I ended up finding the location and of this album cover, and it's actually where Ramkhamhaeng Airport Rail Station is. So I thought I'd give away this shirt with a set of Mot Dang chili, and the question will be related to an area of Bangkok. Some of you might know it, some of you might live there, and the question is, what is the name of the future SkyTrain station? It's not open yet. It's between Ari and Sapan Kwai. Senaruam. Okay. Scott. All right. So that was a bit of a tough one, and you have to know the area. So I'm assuming, is anyone here just visiting Bangkok? Holiday? Yeah? Okay. And I'm assuming the rest of you all live here. Anyone been here more than 40 years? I'm looking at the older guys. Actually, there was a comment on the Facebook thing, and one guy said, "Oh yeah, 4 guys who have been here 5 minutes. I bet none of them have been here. I bet altogether they've all been here for a combined 10 years." One of those comments. Anyway, I thought it'd be time to get our next YouTuber on, and you know him. You watch him, Adam Jones, also known as Keis One. Here you go, mate. Just give you this.
Thank you. I'm the guy that hangs out in dark laneways and ridges. Thanks, guys. I don't know. Where did we meet? Fucking, of course we did. So I want to tell the story of the first time I came to Thailand, because it really sort of set the tone for the rest of my trips and my experience of living here. So my first time was back in 2010, and I was drinking with a bunch of mates in Australia at my place. We're sort of kicking on from the night previous, having some beers, and one of my mates said, "Hey, let's go to Thailand." And we were planning to go later in the year. I'd never been to Asia before. And I said, yeah, we'll go later in the year. And he's like, "No, let's go today." My friend was a little fucking crazy. And I called his bluff, and I went into my bedroom and I grabbed my passport and I said, "All right, I'm down, let's go today." And he said, "Uber's on the way, or the taxi's on the way." And we were hammered at this stage. And we jumped in the taxi, went to the airport, booked a flight at the airport, and jumped on the next flight to Thailand. Now, I had work the next day. I was drunk, had no luggage. They didn't want to let us through immigration because we were drunk and we had no luggage. I had a phone charger in my pocket. I was like, if I can charge my phone, I'm good. And that was literally it. But we eventually got through and we got to go to Thailand. And then I sobered up on the flight. And it was an 8-hour flight to get here. Landed with a nasty fucking hangover. And then realized I had to call my boss and say, "I'm not coming to work today." So I made the call at the airport from a payphone and said, "I can't come to work tomorrow." And he said, "Tomorrow? What about today?" I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's the next day. I can't come today either." And he said, "Well, you better have a good fucking reason." I said, "Well, I'm in Bangkok." He said, "Okay, that is a good reason." Thankfully, I had a really, really cool boss at that time. And he's like, "Well, how long have you gone for? Like, when's the return flight?" And I asked my mate who booked the flights, "When are we going back?" And he's like, "We got one-way tickets." Fuck. Okay. So my boss at the time, the legend, he said, "Take 2 weeks." And that really set me off. We landed here in Bangkok. We also went to Phuket and Koh Samui. One of my good mates, who you may know from his YouTube channel, Sam, Gone Adrift, he was with me on that day. It was a mess at first, and we did all the cliche things. So obviously we arrived with no clothes. It was winter and I was in jeans and whatever t-shirt I was wearing. So I went out to the markets to buy all the t-shirts, and we got the Singer t-shirt and the Chang singlet and all the things that you do, and a fake Rolex, which later got stolen off me from a bar girl, but that's a different story. And we just had the best time, and it was this 2 weeks of absolute chaos. And it made me fall in love with the place, and it made me it really opened my eyes to the rest of the world. I traveled outside of Australia, but I've been to New Zealand, I've been to the US, which are quite similar culturally. And coming to Thailand and experiencing this whole different way of life, it opened my eyes to travel. It opened my eyes to the world, and of course Thailand. And then I came back a shit ton of times after that. Also on a drunken whim more than once, but it was just such a fun thing, and I just had to keep coming back and trying to recapture that magic from that first trip. Now, that's the PG story. I've got one more story that's not as PG. And this is my strangest interaction with a subscriber or someone that knows me off YouTube. So I moved here during COVID when everything was closed, and for a while I was living in Pattaya during Bangkok went into a dark red zone, so there was no restaurants weren't open, bars weren't open, everything was shut, and you had to eat outside. So I went down to Pattaya, which wasn't dark red, and you could eat in restaurants, and there was a bit more of a social scene going on there. And I kept hearing about this place called Windmill, which is a go-go bar down in Pattaya. Is anyone familiar with Windmill? Is anyone not familiar with Windmill? Never been there. No, never heard of it? So this go-go bar kept getting hyped up to me. Now, I'd never actually been to Pattaya before this. All of my trips, I went to Phuket and Bangkok because I just thought they were the two coolest places. And I kept hearing about this Windmill place. You've got to check out Windmill, you've got to check out Windmill. And when everything finally opened on the first night, there was a few of my mates down. We were all single guys, boys' night out. First night on Walking Street, I said, we got to go check out this Windmill place. I just keep hearing about this Windmill place. I want to go check it out. And we walked in, and it looked like a go-go bar. It looked like any kind of go-go bar. Some of the girls were topless. It's like, oh, okay, maybe that's the thing. It wasn't. So we walked in. There's little booths and places that you can sit down everywhere. We sat down at sort of a square with a table in the middle. There was just some random guy sitting there by himself, and we sat on the rest of it. And the guy sat down, the guy that was sitting there already had a drink. We ordered our drinks. My drink came, I hadn't paid yet, and a lady came and sat on the table in front of the guy. Now this chick was naked. She sat sort of crouched down in front of him, and he just went to town eating her asshole right next to me. And I was like, oh, this is what Windmill is. He stops. He's in there doing his thing. He stops, turns to me and says, love your channel, by the way. And went straight back in. By far my craziest and most interesting interaction. So I don't have a whole lot of stories or crazy things that have happened to me since living here. That's the top of the list. Living here has been an unbelievably smooth transition. I've just met amazing people, had no bad experiences, faced no adversity. It's just been smooth sailing, and I'm so happy to be living here. So I want to change, instead of telling stories that are vanilla about how great everything is, I want to open it up. We'll do a bit of do some crowd work. If anyone has a question or anything you want to ask me,
Can I butt in for 1 minute?
Please.
We didn't expect such a large crowd. We're making some wings. We want to support our sponsor, Hot Dang, made in Thailand. This is going to be the mango sauce. Until they're gone. No double dipping. Just one dipping out.
No double dipping in Thailand, people.
No double dipping. Thank Thank you.
Right. So if anyone has a question or anything you want to know, any stories, anything like that, please raise your hand, ask, shout out, anything.
Where's your girlfriend?
She's at home. That's not an exciting answer. She's locked up where she should be. No. I don't, on that, like, the reason I don't share my girlfriend or anything on, and I've spoken about this quite a lot, is unfortunately the YouTube space and the comments section is a kind of shitty place. And I had so many bad experiences with previous people. What's the next mod on the truck? I've stopped modding the truck. I just bought a project car. So I just bought a Nissan Safira that I'm going to turn into a drift car. I'll keep playing with the truck, but now I got a whole new thing to waste all my money on, I think. But it's good. I've just started a second YouTube channel. Subscribe. That's a shameless plug right there. But I'm keeping that separate because not everyone's into the car stuff. A Nissan Safira. Oh, it's called Dory Keis. Dory is Japanese slang for drift. Yeah. Dory Keis. Any other questions? Anyone? Anything you want to know about?
Do you miss Australia?
I don't miss Australia. The question was, do you miss Australia? No. I don't miss anything about Australia. I miss my family and the people there. But in terms of Australia as a place, there's nothing really there. It's nice beaches. No, nothing. Yes? Uber Eats are at the door? So? Have I been skimmed? Oh, yeah, I had my card skimmed. I've had my card skimmed twice here. Two cards skimmed. And it was always Uber Eats, the payments that came out. Yeah. When are we going to Windmill? Who's booked it? Yeah, I like spontaneous trips. Who's booked the taxi? The night is young. We never know. Alright guys, I'm going to hand back over to Pat. Thank you for having me. Thank you all for coming out. This is awesome.
Cheers, Adam. Brilliant, mate. So people ask me that. They say, Pat, you're too dry. You don't open up enough. You don't show emotion. And I've heard people describe my videos as emotionless. With the only kind of emotion I show is with the cats. Yeah. And that comes from when I first started. My first couple of videos had cats because I was a new YouTuber. I didn't know what to film, so I just filmed anything around. And first 3 videos had cats. And then I did a video that was railway related and there was no cats. And there was so many comments asking me, where's the cats? Yeah. So they just became a fixture. We got some very familiar faces in the audience tonight. We got, if you watch my podcast, One Bar of Wisdom, we got Carl over there. If you're into food and history, we got Adam Motiar. He's in the house. We got Danny and Diggy in the corner there. Gary was supposed to be here tonight as well, but
He'll come tomorrow.
yeah, he's coming tomorrow. Yeah, he's recently become a dad, so yeah, his time is limited. So we're going to take a break for 20 minutes. I'm going to reset the camera and stuff, and so in the meantime, there's some chicken wings. But before we go, or before we have a break, I thought I'd give away some more of this hot sauce.
Can we get 2 more, please? Thank you, Ryan.
Oh yeah, and at the end tonight, after I think Paddy's last, we're going to do a Q&A, so we'll all be on stage and we'll do some questions because that'll be fun. So I've got some. I don't think they put enough chicken wings out, so maybe all of you haven't tried the sauce, but there's a set here, 3 different flavours. And with this, I'm going to give away, this shirt is a one-off. It was a test print I did. Because one guy, he wanted some, like these sports, these are like stretchy sort of tank tops. It looks small, but it actually stretches to fit. And he wanted these. So I had these made, and there's one left over. Sugar soy 4. So I've got a history related question related to soy 4, and the question is the correct answer from these 3 multiple choice is Nana Hotel. Okay, what year did it open? Was it 62, was it 66 or 68?
62.
62. All right. Yeah, they might not fit you. Yeah. In fact, while I'm here, I got a few T-shirts, or my own T-shirts. This is a new logo I've designed. I've printed some up. I've got some other shirts for sale as well at the end. So if you're interested, I've got a. Hang on. Yeah, I've got a thing here. I'll pass some out. And this the shirts I've got for sale. There's only a few, so we'll do that later. So we'll take a break for 20 minutes, and we'll come back. And we've got Drew and Paddy Doyle is coming as well. So we'll see you soon. I want to say thanks for everyone coming out. So I got some more of these Mod Dang chili gift packs to give away. Thanks to Billy. T-shirts. I'm going to give away 2 T-shirts with this one because one of the T-shirts is one of those that I made like to order, and I've got a few left over, and I think you might like them. So this T-shirt really, you'll only really get it if you live in Pattaya or you know Pattaya well. And so this design was. It was sort of like a reaction to the way Pattaya has gone in the last 5 years or so. So this T-shirt, it says Pattaya, quality tourists since 1962. So this is one of the shirt. This is 2XL. And if you live in Pattaya, if you know Paddy, you'll know the humour intended, because it's one of those places where nowadays, compared to 20 years ago, it's an absolute shithole. Let's be honest, isn't it? Apart from Windmill. Or Tony's. I went to Tony's when I first went. And the other shirt is. It's one of my shirts. It was one of the first ones. It's a cat driving a SkyTrain. And when you announce that you're selling T-shirts, you know, you put it on Twitter, you put it on social media, you always get some clever people. Oh, have you got the rights to use those pictures? And actually, I do have the rights to use these pictures, and that often disappoints them because they think they caught you out. Going back to comment sections, it's funny, you know, I'm not one to give time to these creatures who infest comment sections, not just on YouTube but Facebook or Twitter, you know. And then you get people like, there was comments about tonight saying, oh, who are these people? They think they're superstars, or I don't give a fuck. And they must do, because they've taken the time to write that comment. They're checking back every 5 minutes to see who's replied, and then if someone has, they will come back again with more shit. So yeah, that's pretty much the comment section. And when I started YouTube, my first couple of videos, it really does affect you. And over time, you tend to sort of build up this idea that you think, well, the people making those comments are the ones who have the problem. And my first couple of videos, even if I got one dislike, it'd tear me apart. It was like, oh shit, what have I done? What should I change? But really, it's just a dislike. You know? And you get professional dislikers who go around YouTube videos disliking them just for the hell of it. But here's a bit of a backstory here, because if someone clicks on your video and just clicks dislike without watching more than a minute, that dislike actually gets reversed a few hours later. So there's a tip for any of you thinking of disliking any of our videos.
We still get paid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There was still get paid. Right. So I was talking about another history-related question to win this gift pack and these 2 T-shirts. So the history-related question, I suppose, should really be about Pattaya. And that's another thing, saying you know, Pattaya, because different people pronounce it differently. They call it Pattaya or Pattaya. And yeah, I get criticised in comments for saying Pattaya. I've always said it like that because it was the first way I heard it said by a Thai. And you know, Thais will say it in different ways as well. It's correct. All right, which one? And Pattaya. Yeah. So if you ask a Thai, they will say Pattaya.
Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. I know, we're giving time to these negative people. It's sad. Yeah. Right, question, Pattaya question. Okay. Pattaya question. How do you pronounce it? Think of a Pattaya question.
Why are you looking at me?
Windmill. All right, yeah. Name a hotel in Pattaya.
Hilton.
No, it's a long-standing hotel, and I say this because it was the first one I stayed at in 2000. No, it's next to a hotel called the Royal Twins. And when you walk out of it, you come onto Second Road, and across the road is the Royal Garden Plaza. It's an old hotel. And when you stay there, the staff... No, not quite. And when you stay there, the staff don't make you feel like, you know, very... The name of the hotel. Welcome is the answer. Who? You said it first. Welcome Plaza. Welcome Plaza. Yeah, the question was, what was the name of the hotel? Some of you old timers should know. Actually, I stayed there in 2000, and it was acceptable. I went back in 2005, and it was horrible. It's still there. Yeah. Probably hasn't. Right, okay, so Paula. All right, we're going to get the next YouTuber on now, and this is a guy who was the first YouTuber I ever met, and he gave me some valuable advice that I kept to about doing videos, because at the time I was at a bit of a crossroads. My content wasn't getting the traction I expected it to. I was going to change the style. But he was the first YouTuber who told me that you've got to. And to make it exciting, you've got to do what you want to do. You've got to do the topic you want to do. And I think that's something all of us here tonight have in common. You know, we do pretty much the content we feel we are comfortable with. So, please welcome. He's known as globaltravelmate. He rides his bike around Bangkok. He's been to more historic spots than me. And Jeroen, please. No, I'm not going to beatbox.
So, you know, I see a lot of people here, and some of you might know me. The majority might not know me, I don't know. That's always a funny thing when you do YouTube. So I am Jeroen, I'm from Holland, and my channel is globaltravelmate, for those who don't know. And yeah, so the theme of this evening was to talk about videos, or to talk about topics where you don't want to film and that you don't want to talk about. Well, it's a bit difficult because here in Thailand, of course, you cannot talk about politics, you cannot talk about religion. And for example, for my channel, I cannot talk about Soy Cowboy and Nana. No. By the way, Adam is one of my good friends. I met him the first time in Nana. So yeah, for real. Say that. For real. So yeah, it's true, man. No, but yeah, well, it's your how do you say it? This is how people will remember you.
What were you doing in that? What were you doing in that?
So of course, when you live in Bangkok, I've been living here for 16 years. Pat was saying that that somebody was commenting that nobody had experience here. Well, we've been here for quite a while. And of course, when you have guests over, friends from the Netherlands or family, you have to bring them around a little bit, right? So one of my friends came and visited me, and I showed him Soy Cowboy. And yeah, we had a nice evening. And in the middle of the night, we were just sitting in a bar, and a girl was talking with him. And then he said, like, Jerome, you know, her mother works here. I said, what? I said, how do you know that? That's the mama son. And I was like, no, that means something different, you know. So, but definitely that is something that I would not talk about in my videos, because I am a Mr. Goody Two-Shoe. I am a travel channel. So, but of course, we all live here in Bangkok and we all know what's going on. Yeah, another story. I also have a real estate business, and we've been doing that for 13 years. And I am probably the YouTuber with the longest years, because I started filming apartments 13 years ago. And I didn't talk in these videos, but of course you have your experiences. And I was filming an apartment, I'm not going to say where it was, but I had to really go to the toilet. You know, and that can happen, but of course you don't want to do that in an apartment that you're filming. You know, you get the key, and this is a little bit sensitive. So I was thinking, like, shit, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna stop filming and then go down to the lobby when there are two toilets here, right? So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just do my business here, but because I'm a smart guy, I thought, you know what? Let's just flush and see if it's working, right? So I went to the toilet, I flushed, and it flushed, so it was fine. I didn't realize that it wasn't refilling. So I did my thing, and then I pressed again, and it didn't work. Like, what the fuck? You know? So I had a big issue because it's funny now, but that's really a big issue because you're filming an apartment, people trust you with the key, and it's starting to smell, and you just cannot go away. What are you going to do? You're going to call the owner, like, yeah, I did my business there. So luckily there was another toilet, and I was also very lucky because there was a small bottle of water, and the only thing I could do, and this really happened, I could just go to the other toilet and get all the water out of the, fill my bucket up, right, and then flush. And it worked, and nobody ever found out, you know. So, and obviously I'm not going to film that. Sorry?
Fair enough, you told the story.
Yeah. Yeah, so we,
place.
well, I can guarantee you the toilet works. I checked it out, right?
Your own approved.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we're all living in Thailand, and yeah, maybe I can talk a little bit about Thai people. When we came here 15 years ago, I came together with my wife Mirella, and we had a friend in Spain where we used to live that was from Thailand. So this is also our business partner at the moment. And we met her for the first time, and we went to Koko Ichibanya. I don't know if you know, it's the Japanese restaurant, you know. And I just ordered my meal, and you know, Thai people can be very, very honest, very, very direct. And I just ordered my meal, and I finished, and then she said, "You don't want to eat anything more?" And I was like, "No, I mean, finished my meal, I'm done, I'm good, you know, I'm done." And then she said, "Why are you so fat?" I was like, "Okay, welcome to Thailand." Thai people are in your face, they are very direct, you know, very, very different from the West. So anyway, that was my stories about what I wouldn't like to film. And I want to do the same as what Adam did. If anybody has any questions, is there anything that anybody wants to know?
Did you close the property that you took a shit in?
I actually did.
Nice.
Yes, yes, and I'm not going to say to who we rented it out. That's why I also didn't say the building, you know, because, but my wife doesn't know actually, but I know. Anybody? Okay, so I just had a few small stories, but that's it. So Pat, up to you. Oh no, wait. I promised Chili Billy from the Mud Dang, because I was afraid that they would pull me off the stage if I didn't push that product. So the Mud Dang sauce that we all have here with the chicken wings, you can buy them in Top's supermarket. They are next to the, what was it next to the? Okay, if you go to Top's supermarket, and it's cheaper than the rest, right? It's next to the Tabasco. Don't buy the Tabasco. Okay, man.
Cheers, Jerome. So we got one more YouTuber, but before we bring him on, I've got to give away. Billy, any more packs? But these shirts are the official ones. So yeah, Mod Dang sponsoring it, and I want to say this. I mean, tonight this hasn't been for money. We're not getting paid. We didn't want to do an entrance fee. There's no profit, nothing. You know, we wanted to give it back to the people who watch, because they're the people who, you know, the numbers build up. And at the end of the day, you know, that's what it comes down to. So I'm going to do a history question, and we got 2 Mod Dang t-shirts. So an easy one, and it's a local one as well. No, all right. What year did Terminal 21 open?
96.
2010.
99.
2011.
2009.
2005.
I thought it was 14. But I remember the construction in 2010. I need to check this. It was 2011. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. All right, let's not piss around anymore. We're going to get Paddy Doyle, someone who's been to every province in Thailand. He's probably the most well-travelled of all of us here, and he's here somewhere. Can someone give him a shout? Who's here? He's a Newcastle fan, so he's got to be alright.
Hello everybody, Sawadee Ka. Is this stand-up? What's going on? Alright, thank you for coming, thank you for inviting me, BangkokPat, obviously he's a fellow Geordie, and I owe him a big favour. So I decided to come down. My socks and shoes are still wet, driving my motorbike around Isan at the moment, filming an adventure. I'm having such an out-of-body experience. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Isan. It is the best, isn't it? It is so amazing. It's like the, I mean, it's so cliche, but it's like the real Thailand. And where I am right now on my motorcycle, I'm having an out-of-body experience every single day. The sun rises over the Mekong, the temples, the people, the food. It's so spicy up there. And, oh God, I'm just having the best time. So I parked my bike in Udon Thani, catched a little flight this morning, kissed Miss P, my fiance, and I was like, I'm back for one night, because I'm going back tomorrow to get back on the bike. So honestly, I don't have anything prepared for this night. So, what should I say? Does anyone have a topic you'd like me to discuss? Maybe I can just riff, because honestly, I have no... Isan. Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. Obviously, my channel is a brand, right? So I have to be quite PC. You know, a lot of people here tonight told me, you know, we watch it with our mum and dad, and we put it on the telly, and we watch it when we're having our dinner, and I'm like, okay, that's why I don't swear, that's why I don't go to Pattaya and talk about all that kind of thing. But I do try my best to share the experience, but obviously there are things that happen that I can't really talk about or turn the camera on during. So anyway, the other day, I checked into this hotel, and there was a girl working there. She was quite cute, and I was like, "Sorry, can I check in?" She was like, "Yeah, sure." But she didn't say anything. She just kind of like nodded, and just it was a bit awkward. And I was like, "Okay," and she disappeared, and she came back, and her manager came out, and she started to speak English. So I was like, "Oh, okay, she must work here, but she's too shy to talk to me because I'm a foreigner, and they don't get many foreigners here." And I check in, and I give her my passport, and she's smiling at me, and she's photocopying it, and then I'm like smiling back, and I'm like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And there's nothing, like not even Sawadee, nothing, no Thai, no English, nothing. Anyway, so then I'm like, "What room am I?" And she's like, 203. I'm like, "Okay." And then she said, "Oh, she'll take your bag up to the room," the girl who welcomed me. And so we go up to the room, and I'm like in the lift. You know those lifts in Thailand, they're tiny and they're so hot and awkward, right? So I'm like in this lift, there's a bright light, and I'm like, "Do you speak English?" And she's like, and I'm like, "Do you speak Thai? Pandai Thai mai?" And she just like too shy to respond in any way. So I was like, this is so strange. never mind, just a bit awkward. And then we get to the door, she puts my bag down, and I'm like, thanks a lot, see you later. And she's like, oh, and she goes into a little bag, she's got a little thing here, a little handbag, and she's rustling in, and I'm like, what's she doing? Is it the Wi-Fi password maybe or something? And she brings out a pen, like a Sharpie, but it wasn't a Sharpie, like a fake 20-baht Sharpie. And she like grabs my hand, and she starts to write her name on the back of my hand. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she can't speak. She can't speak, she must have a speech impediment, and she's trying to say something. So as she's writing on my hand, I was like, oh, my name is Paddy. My name is Paddy. And I'm looking at my hand and she's spelling her name. And I'm like, oh, this is actually really sweet, isn't it, really? Like, this is a quick, sweet moment. So I'm like, L, and then she's like, O, B. And I'm like, her name's Lube? So I'm like, Lube? And she's like, and I'm like looking at it again, I'm like, Lobe? And she's like, and I'm like, oh, maybe the L is an I. So I'm like, EOB? And she's like, no. And then all of a sudden, it just clicked, and my heart sank. I was like, it's not an L, it's not an I, it's a 1, 0, 0, 0, B. It says 1,000 baht. And I look at her again and she's like, seriously. And I'm like, and I've got my little like camera thing. I've got this brand new camera. It's like that big, right? DJI thing. And it's filming because I'm always filming the opening the door. You'll see that on the video, me opening the door, but you will not see that interaction. Yeah. So that's the day in Isan. Let's do another story. Any just shout something out.
Animals! Strange animals!
Strange animals. Well, this isn't a stupid or like a awful sad story, but this is a sweet story. Has anyone ever here worked at Soy Dog Foundation or volunteered there or is aware of it? Okay, great. If you do anything in Thailand, you should go to the Soy Dog Foundation and volunteer there. They desperately need volunteers. They have, I think they have 2,000 dogs, don't they? And they only get walked if they have volunteers. So sometimes they go days, weeks without being walked, and it's so sad. Anyway, I did a week down there. I made a video about it. And at the end of the day, they let you walk the really, like, fucked up dogs. The ones that are like really fucked up, that they're not allowed to walk when any of the other dogs are having their walks because they'll just go for them, they'll kill them. And anyway, there was this one dog, she was called Daisy, and they would unleash her and they would like open this special thing, and she like lives on her own, and they open the door and Daisy would come running down like as fast as she could to this other dog's gate just to bark and like try to rip this other German Shepherd's head off, and they would go at it for ages at the thing, and then they'd let it calm down. Daisy would calm down, and you'd attach the little thing, and then you'd like, this dog would just drag you around, and you weren't walking this dog was pulling you around, and it was really, it's like an amazing animal to feel its power and its strength. And then they also have little dogs, and this dog just wanted to kill everything. Like would go up to all the other packs and go up to the other dogs and piss and shit everywhere and pull all the mud. And then there was this one little section where there was a tiny little sausage dog that had been run over, and like his back legs had been broken and he couldn't move. And he would go and say hello, and it said, because you have an app, right? And the app has like where the dog's allowed to go, where he's not allowed to go, what he can do, what he's not allowed to do, because these dogs are really like messed up mentally, physically, emotionally. Anyway, it said make sure to take him to, I can't remember this little shit, but like it was a fucking pathetic looking dog. It needed to be put down, bless it, right? But they kept it alive like they did. But it was like, oh God, just put it out of its misery. But this rabid monster dog. On the app said, make sure you go and see this little dog, and it would go and it would smell, and they would kiss each other, and he would lick his wounds, and it was like so sweet. And then he would just dart off, and it just made me think like, that's a really lovely story. And a good plug for the Soy Dog Foundation. Go down there in Phuket. If you're in Phuket and you're like, oh, Phuket's shit, right? Go to the Soy Dog Foundation. Stay in a hotel not far and volunteer. You need to do a minimum of 2 days, because the first day they teach you about the app and they teach you about what to do. And then the second day, they don't need to teach you anything anymore. But if you can, do 5 days. It's so much fun. The Soy Dog Foundation. Right, let's do one more. Any topic? The best island. I change my mind like the wind, right? You guys probably know every video I'm like, oh, this is my favourite province. 5 minutes later, no, this is my favourite province. But recently, I would say it has to be Koh Samet. Koh Samet, yeah, you like Koh Samet? I went to Koh Samet in 2008, and the road was made of sand, and I rented a motorcycle, a little scooter thing, and I crashed it so many times, slipping and sliding, and I took it back and I had my deposit taken off me, and I got scammed. And I just remember that was the only memory I had, was Koh Samet is shit. And so I never went. And when I was doing my provinces on Dreamy, I remember driving past it, you know, in Rayong, going past Pattaya, past Rayong, and I saw the ferry and I'm like, I'm not going to Koh Samet, fuck that place. Seriously. And I just always thought it was shit. And then I finally went back, and you know what it's like. If you got, raise your hand if you've been to Koh Samet, right? A lot of people, well, only half. When you first arrive, you'll be like, what is this? This is hectic, like there's speedboats everywhere, the pier's dirty, and it's like overcrowded, and there's tourists everywhere. And that's the only entry point to the island, isn't it? Yeah, but once you get past that, Koh Samet has just bay after bay after bay. If you like to go for a nice long walk along the beach, just go bay to bay to bay, and they're all connected by rocky little paths. Some of the best beaches, there'll be a beach with like wooden cabins, and you can go and speak to them, and they'll charge you 800 bahts walking rate, because they're not even on booking, they're only on Facebook, and only Thai people use Facebook to book hotels. That's a great hack, by the way. If you're at some location in the middle of nowhere and you can't find a good location to stay, don't go to Booking or Agoda, just go to Facebook. Because Thai people use Facebook because they don't have to pay fees. So there's no booking, so just Facebook stuff. Just type in where you're at and you'll get loads of recommendations. Facebook is a really good cheap hack. Right, any more? Because I'm so sorry I'm underprepared, Pat.
Accidents.
Accidents, last one.
Near-death experience.
Near-death experience. Yeah, well, talking about near-death experiences, the only one I've ever had, really, and this is stuff we don't talk about, is fatalities on the road. I don't want to get too dark here because it's a bit sad, but we do see them. I mean, I see them. Like, you've read the figures, right? I'm on the roads in Thailand. There are accidents, and it is quite shocking, and like it ruins your day, especially when it's a dog or a cat. But it's a lot worse when it's a truck that's upside down and it's all disaster. But when I was in Laos, I was driving along and I was tired and I was hot and I was knackered. I'd been on the road for... This is why I only do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off now. Because it's mentally draining driving a motorcycle, creating content. It's like, you know, I literally film from sunrise to sunset and then I sleep. And then I do it again and I do it again. And there's no days off. Because if it's sunny, you have to film. And if it's raining, you're like, oh, no, I can catch up on editing. Right? So you're always on the go mentally. When I was in southern Laos, I'd done the Tak Hek Loop and I was driving south towards Don Det and the 4,000 Islands. And I just found myself on this long stretch of hot road, and it was straight and it was boring. And all of a sudden I'd fallen asleep at the wheel, but on my motorcycle. And when I came back, I drifted into the middle of the oncoming lane with a giant 16-wheel truck coming towards me. And I carried on and I went off the road, and the thing whizzed past me, and I felt the breeze, the impact of the breeze of how close it had come past me. So I drifted asleep, and then, just missed it. And if it had hit me, it would have been, see you later. And I remember I was like shaking like a shitting dog. I was just like, oh my God, like I nearly just died because I was so tired. And I just like slapped myself, poured water over myself, and I nearly fell asleep again, 3 times. Because I knew if I turned around to go back to the nearest town, it would be 2 hours, and then where I was going was an hour. And that was a moment that I had a big word with myself, and I decided, right, I can't keep doing these multiple week bike tours. It's super dangerous and irresponsible to drive when you're tired. I just want to say, while we're all here, thank you so much to BangkokPat for bringing everyone together. And for everyone, for enjoying all of our content or whatever you do. I think, for me, like, and for everyone in this room, we're always trying to chase that feeling of the first time, right? The first time you came to Thailand. We all remember the smell of pad thai, the first time you heard the music and the feeling of the hot, humid air when you get off the aeroplane and you come out of Savannapum and there's a taxi rank. We're all trying to retrace that first time, and with me, I'm trying to constantly retrace that first feeling of the provinces on Dreamy, right? Because that was the start of my channel, and that was what really like brought us all together. Can this annoying English guy go to every province on his motorbike? And then a year later, oh my God, he did it. What's he gonna do now? And so I'm always just trying to chase that feeling. But what I've come to realize recently, especially, is when it comes to content and YouTube, like when I watch BangkokPat, as an example, it doesn't matter like if he's doing a video about Don Muang or some fucking random place in Bangkok no one's heard of. I sit down and I watch it and I don't give a fuck about it. But I sit there and I go, I just love watching Bangkok's videos, because I've realised we all watch content because of the way it makes us feel, right? And Pat makes me feel safe. You make me feel relaxed. You make me go, I really bloody love the history of Don Muang Airport. I'm fucking buzzing about this now. Like, I don't remember it, but I'm buzzing, right? And so what I've tried to do, you guys have probably followed me for a long time. You know, I've gone to Antarctica, I've gone to Europe, and a lot of you guys are like, for fuck's sake, just stay in Thailand, because you want that feeling of Paddy in the provinces, doing random shit, and you want that feeling. And so I've realised, it doesn't matter, like, I'm always trying to chase, do something interesting, go somewhere interesting, be someone interesting, but actually, all I should really do is just make you feel good. So that's what I'm trying to do for the rest of the year. Thanks for having me, Pat.
We're going to do a Q&A in a couple of minutes. Paddy, I do have a bone to pick with you. It's talking about Soy Dog Rescue. Yeah, great organisation, but they also do cats too. And you know what? They don't need to be walked. They probably laugh at all the dogs. Actually, going back to that you know, that first feeling you get coming to Bangkok. You know, we've all been hit by that rush of warm, thick air as you come out of, well, in my case it was Don Muang Airport, coming out of those doors, and you think, wow, you know, I'm here. And I remember the first time I took a bus in Bangkok, coming from London, where you've got the tube, you've got the bus, you've got the trains, the service is, you know, top class. I thought, coming from London, I'd be able to suss out taking a bus in Bangkok. I thought, oh, no problem, I'm from London, I know everything. And I was supposed to meet someone at the mall in Ram Kam Heng. I don't know if you know that area. Now there's a bus called number 92, and it goes to the mall Ram Kam Heng. And what I didn't know is that it's a circular bus route. So I got the 92, and I thought I missed my stop. So I'm thinking, right, I'm here, and the bus's circular route, so I'm going to be eventually coming back to the mall. But I didn't know it. So this bus is going like 2 hours, and I'm thinking Bangkok is huge. You know, I thought I was up here somewhere, and it was still Bangkok. And then it came back round, so I got off. I saw a mall, and I didn't know it was the mall I was supposed to be at. And I asked someone. And this is another thing about Thais, you know, how helpful they can be. So I got off the bus. I'm totally lost, and I asked this random person. I said, "Oh, where am I? I need to get to the mall," and they didn't speak English. My Thai wasn't very good, and they went and got this other lady who went and called the policeman. The policeman came over. His wife spoke English, got her on the phone, told me I was in the place I was supposed to be already, at the mall Rankin Hen. So the 92 bus has that sort of feeling of nostalgia for me, and I'm yet to do a video on it, and if I do, it'll be a hell of a long video. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up by doing a Q&A, so if we can get everyone on stage, and we're going to take any random questions you've got. So, Drew, Adam, where's Adam? Serg, Paddy.
They're all drunk. So drunk. Everybody's drunk. No, you're not drunk. I'm just breaking stuff.
Where's Adam?
He's in the alleyway. He's a window. Adam is at the bridge. It's on the bridge.
Paddy?
Is Adam outside?
He's in the toilet.
He's meeting another YouTuber.
Let's call him on speaker.
We got we'll pass the mic around. So question and answer Q&A session. So if anyone's got questions for anyone, we will happily answer them. I'll stand here. Okay, so let's take some questions from the floor. Anyone?
Danny.
Paddy.
Paddy, you have travelled a lot.
Yes, I have.
You're based in Thailand mainly.
Yep.
But what was your skill during this stage of travel to?
Thank you for asking, Danny, from Danny and Diggy's YouTube channel, best YouTube channel in the world. What's the one place I haven't been that I'd like to go? I definitely want to go to Egypt, but every YouTube video I watch about Egypt makes me not want to go there, because it just looks terrible to be there. It's the people, just the scammers and the permits and all the things, the hassles on the street, but I would love to go to see the pharaohs, the pyramids and all that. But then I'd also really like to go back to New Zealand. I don't know if anyone's ever been to New Zealand, but it's absolutely ridiculously beautiful, incredible. And finally, another bucket list is Uganda, to go see the mountain gorillas. You know, to do David Attenborough and to sit there and have the silverback brush past you, and that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Where was you? What's on your bucket list?
On my bucket list? Well, I mean, we actually went to Cairo in Egypt, and it's definitely worth it, but you're right. There's a lot of scams going on, and it's a different culture than here, for example. But if you go to Luxor, very good. We went to Kenya last year. The problem is, for example, for me, I have a Bangkok YouTube channel, and I have really, really cool videos that I made in Kenya. But whenever I post them, nobody watches them, so I just gave up. Yeah. Okay, then I will make the Cairo one, so that you can.
Can I just say?
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys have ever YouTubed anywhere in Thailand and found his face, right? Like randomly. I thought I had an encyclopedia, but the other day I was YouTubing Koh Samet. I was trying to find a hotel to have my honeymoon in, right? So I was like looking on Google Maps, Ao Prao. So I type in YouTube, Ao Prao Beach, and then there's a our Proud Beach Resort room tour, and it's you and your missus walking around, and it's like you've got an encyclopedia of everywhere, man. I thought
I can add to this because I used to watch your videos, take the idea and make a better video.
And you did. No, but you're right. The thing is that from the beginning, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't want to have my face on the thumbnail. And I still don't have, so that's why a lot of people don't recognize me. But I do Instagram, I do TikTok, I do a good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. And I meet people that say, good morning. I was in, I've had situations where I was just talking and then people said, are you that globaltravelmate guy? Because I recognize your voice. Like, yeah, well.
Can I just ask a question? I don't have a catchphrase, but maybe I do and I don't know. Do you guys have anything that I say? No? Yeah? Right, why do I call it Zelda? The video game. Yeah, Nintendo DS, right?
How does it connect?
I just, next level games, next level adventures. I just like gaming, so I literally, after this, I'm gonna go home and play Overwatch till like 3 in the morning. Because I'm back from the bike trip and I'm like, I want to go check out the new season.
Night with your girlfriend?
No, she can wait. She can wait.
Does she know you're here?
No, yeah, she knows I'm here.
Your catchphrase is
Oh, there's a story behind this. So, because obviously in the comment section it's like, it's Sawadee Kap, dickhead, right? I say Sawadee Kap because, so I was an English teacher before I did YouTube. And I worked in a big school, international school, and it had 2,000 students. But my favourite were the Anuban, the nursery, right? But they were terrified of foreigners, the teachers anyway, especially the male ones. They, if they were walking past to go teach the sixth form or year 11, like holding on, they would just look up and go, oh my God, look how tall and scary those Falang are. And when I would walk past, I would walk over with my teacher persona, right? And then when they're like all looking at me, I would just turn to them and go, Sawadee Ka! And they'd all burst out laughing, right? And they just loved it because they thought, oh, isn't he funny? And isn't he sweet? So I just always thought that was really cute to do that. So I still do it all the time when I see an animal or I'm just having a good time. Like I would literally, in Isan yesterday, on this little tractor thing, bombing around, and there's like a little kid drinking an ice cream, eating an ice cream, confused as fuck, like why is there a foreigner in a tractor driving through my village? Like really worried about this situation, and I just went Sawadee Ka! And then they like burst out laughing, and it just cuts the awkwardness of like, why is that Falang in our village? That's why I do Sawadee Ka. Yeah, that's a good catchphrase. I didn't realise, but that is a good catchphrase. Thank you. Because I was thinking I was boring. No, I don't have a catchphrase.
Actually, one thing is what you were saying is the kind of places like back arse and beyond. Well, you've been to more than me, like around. You've been to Klong Lai Prao. I haven't. And you get to meet locals, and they don't expect you to say hello. Yeah, they don't expect you to even notice them. I mean, when I'm filming in these obscure soys, people often are fascinated. When I tell them what I'm doing, so I'm doing a history video. Do you know any stories? That's where I get ghost stories sometimes, and they're fascinated as to why you would want to come to their neighbourhood to make a video. You know, so let's take another question. To give.
What was the worst and the most memorable comment you ever made?
Most memorable comment.
I only remember the ones that hurt. Paddy, you're getting fat. So I fixed that one.
Oh yeah, well, the first video when I had my girlfriend in the video, someone said, "Oh, how much do you pay her?"
I mean, I've gotten a fair amount of hate comments as well, and you know, they're always really funny to me because, you know, when I was in law enforcement, I've had guys in the back of my patrol car that told me they were going to rape my mother and kill her when they got out of jail. So every time I see these comments of some armchair warrior in the basement waiting for his mom to make him a grilled cheese sandwich, it's just like, whatever, man, have at it. I mean, there's miserable people out there that are going to leave shitty comments. I leave them up. Sometimes I'll respond witty with them, you know, but you can't help it. It's still engagement, and it still drives the algorithm, so I leave them all, unless they're attacking a specific group of people or something really hateful. If it's towards me, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, or you pin them. You can pin them for a while, for a few hours.
Well, I just wanted to say everybody loves me, so. No, to be really honest, from the beginning, I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years, and any comment that doesn't make sense, I just block them directly. You know, I'm not gonna go and argue because it's only gonna drain your energy, and it gives you negative energy. And who needs that? And the thing is, you realize that there is exactly what you said. There's some guy sitting wherever on the 5th floor in Toronto, coming up with a shitty comment. Bye-bye. That's it. So I don't have any hate comments because after that they cannot reply anymore. That's it.
I've blocked 2,000 people. And I learned this because I had to unblock someone recently that took the time to email me to apologize for the comment that they said. And they begged for me to unblock them. But what I've found is that like every time that a comment crosses the line, whatever your line is, every time you get to a comment that's like, fuck this guy, when I would look back at because we can see the history of comments, and every time I would look back, you can see they start with something that's just like, whatever, they push a little more, and a little more, and a little more, and then it's like, your mother's a whore, or whatever it is that pisses you off, and you're like, fuck this guy. So now, like, I just have this, if you say something that's up here that's like not what we want to see or want to hear, it's like, well, fuck off. And like, I really don't care, we can block as many as you want. But where that comes from is just you lose trust with people, and sometimes it can be, you know, constructive criticism or whatever that you just don't take in the right way. But there is just so much negativity on the internet that it does make it tough. And I just have a policy of like, I read the first line or two, and if I don't like it, then you're out. Pat said it, he said it in a recent video, or a comment or something, there is no freedom of speech on my channel.
Oh yeah, this guy, he's been following me recently, and he's leaving comments on videos that, left a comment in your video. He left a comment on the One Night in Bangkok video. He said BangkokPat blocked me on Twitter and I don't know why. And he's going around doing it. And then when people reply, he says, oh, I don't know who he is. Like, that's the bullshit, you know, you got to put up with.
I actually deleted the YouTube Studio app for 2 years because I read a comment when I was fueling up my motorbike at the gas station. I was having the most amazing day. It was sunset, and the lady was filling up my gas tank, and I just opened up the app to check comments of my latest upload, and there was a really nasty personal comment, and it really hit home because it was true. It was like, oh, you're a fucking prick or something. And I was like, no, it was really personal, and it like really hurt, like, and it made me so upset. And I just deleted the YouTube Studio app, and I remember bragging to people, like other content creators. I remember meeting you in a pub, and I was like, I don't even have the YouTube Studio app because honestly, I got so fed up with getting upset about reading these comments. But the comment section is really, really important because without it, you're not a content creator. Because you know, imagine an art gallery with artwork in it. The art becomes art when it's in a gallery, because that's when it's watched and seen, and people can discuss and go, wow, look how beautiful this artwork is. But they can also say, oh, this fucking shit, I could have done that. And that's the comment section for our YouTube videos. Like, I'll make an incredible video that I think's amazing, and it will be the most offensive thing to someone because I stood on something that I shouldn't have, or said something wrong, or pronounced pataya incorrectly. But without the comment section, we're not actually creators, because anyone could post, turn off the mods, turn off the comment section, and if you do that, you're not really putting stuff out there because you need to have a. I mean, come on, let's be honest. When you open up a YouTube video, you open it up and you immediately scroll to the comments to see if this video is shite or not, right? You go, oh, comments are good. Oh, it must be good. Oh, the comments are all toxic. Okay, this must be shit. I'm not going to watch this. I feel like we need the comments. But yeah, to me, maybe I'm just too sensitive. But I sometimes take them too hard.
I agree with you, but the thing is, like, it's like walking into a bar and imagine you go out tonight, you walk into a bar and somebody says, I don't hate you, I don't like your face, fuck you. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna punch him in the face or are you just gonna walk away? That's what I do, I walk away, like, whatever, man. And then just leave them be, and that's it. But what you said, I mean, this is for everybody who is here. I mean, it really helps pressing like. I'm doing what everybody. No, but don't do like that because it's true. You know, if you like the video, then like and leave a positive comment because this really works for us, right? And we all come here and we are all doing a lot. I mean, we spend many hours to make these videos. The least you can do is give a positive comment. Don't give a negative comment because you're gone.
I've got a question.
Okay,
yeah.
going on.
Thanks, man. Paddy.
Appreciate that. Really.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you.
All the shit that's going on, you're positive.
Yes.
Like,
well,
really.
This is one of the reasons. I mean, Pat already mentioned it in the beginning. I mean, we have a healthy community of YouTubers and creators here, and I've always been ready to work with everybody, and I think it's very important to have a positive voice in the world in general, you know. And I think it's very important to stand together here and say, look, we are the YouTubers from Bangkok. I'm not afraid of Keis saying that he makes better videos than me, even though he's gonna get kicked out of my channel. Yeah, you're done, man. No, but the thing is, like, I mean, I think we are all people that love Bangkok. We all complement each other. We have our own style, you know. He's the, let's say, the guy that goes into history. Adam makes his own stories. I always say Adam can make a video about how he ties his shoelaces and everybody will watch it, right?
Positive vibes, right?
And this guy, the traveler.
I just want to expand on that because yesterday I was sat killing time and Serg, I watched your video where you're going to look at the electronics stuff, right? I don't give a fuck about electronics. I really don't care for like an 80s CD player. But I'm watching them going, like, oh wow, that's really interesting. And I'm just like, 12 minutes passed and I'm still watching this video because I'm like sucked in. The reason I'm sucked in is because I like the way I feel watching him nerd out about something cool to him, right? And so I just like to nerd out about random places in Thailand on my motorcycle, and I hope that makes you guys feel good in some way. You make your content to make other people feel a certain way. You like to give information and show what's going on, new things. Like I watched you do that Mahanakon experience and I was like, fuck no! I would never. But it's passion, yeah. And I think that the positive and the negative comments come from people who maybe don't have a passion and they see someone having a passion and they go, I'm not fucking bastard, you know? Maybe that's it, I don't know.
And don't forget, you guys are all an extension of us as well. You know, because we were talking about negative comments, but the positive comments make us make more videos, you know? And it's really cool. Also, that's another thing. I mean, if you see any of us on the street, just come and say hi. Just say, if you want, you know? You don't have to force yourself. No, because I love it. I love it when people come to me and say, hey man, I saw your video and this is the reason why I live in Bangkok now. It's really cool, you know? Don't comment negative shit, I'll block you. Just block.
Actually, I got a comment, and someone, I had a conversation, someone talking about my channel, and someone said, oh yeah, this is the guy who feeds cats in his videos. and some English bloke, he's a Cockney guy, I heard him say it, he goes, oh that's a bit fucking creepy, innit? So I'm creepy for feeding cats, according to this guy. I know, YouTube, I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm lecturing people in videos, like a school teacher. But I think what YouTube has done, especially with some of the places we go to, the history stuff, it's made like nerdy stuff quite cool again, I think, because it's more accessible. Whereas 20 years ago,
Makes us cool again.
no, I mean 20 years ago, if you was into fixing, fixing a drill that had been buried for 100 years, and there's videos of that on Instagram. These get millions of views, man. It's like me going to a canal and finding out why it was called that. No one really cares, but I'm still going to do it.
I'll have 2 beers.
I'm there, so...
I had a side pint and half pint.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I had a question for you specifically. So you pretty much
did you have this?
dedicated your one-man persona to Bangkok, and
Did you have Singha?
I love watching your videos because it really allows me to wind down,
yeah.
when I come back from a nice like day of work, and
one
like,
pint
I have
and one
a
half
bottle of
pint.
beer, sitting at home watching videos. And
I agree with you.
Exactly what you said before, right? Basically, it's more about like the way you make people feel. But at the same time, I also actually appreciate the actual content, not just you, right?
the hours of 3 in the morning editing.
Anytime of the day.
3 in the morning.
And so, my question is like where? So I mean, you know Bangkok probably better than I do, or many of us here. So where do you see this city going, and what do you like? How do you feel about this place like evolving to in the future? How much part of the, let's say, your future vision is Bangkok? Where's the city going?
I don't know. I think in 10 years' time, you're going to have a new generation of people who are voting, a new generation of people who will have a city that's so much easier to get around. There'll be more trains, transport infrastructure. So it'll be a different place for people for working, for living. I don't know. I've never really sort of thought about it that way. I just like documenting it as it goes, and then moaning about development.
What's your next big project?
Next big project. I'm currently working on a video, and hopefully I'll get in touch with the correct people who will be part of that video about an area called Morm Tontani.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No one's heard of it. So yeah, but the last video I did, that was 55 minutes. That was the old town, the Royal Avenue. And if you watch that, I'm sure some of you may have watched that. Yeah. Rutorn, he is the man that was part of that video.
Oh yeah. I thought I recognised it.
Yeah. give him a round of applause. And in fact, when I did that, I had that video planned like for later in the year at the time, and we arranged to sit down and do those long chats. I actually worked the video around that. So yeah, he was a huge part of doing that, and it was an hour 30 minutes, and then I had to get it down to an acceptable length, 55 minutes. So yeah, I mean all his insight, his experience of the area. So
how long does it take you to do a video?
Well, that was months, on and off. Yeah, like a couple of days here and there. And then average video, say for example Bang Na. Not many people really care about Bang Na. I thought I'd really make it the best I could do it. I was back and forward there probably for 3 weeks. Not every day, all day, but I'd just go there for 3 hours and then film something else. So yeah, that's part of the fun though, isn't it?
I just want to say, like, that was one of the best videos I've ever seen, and I had it on, and your interview was about halfway through, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, as you were interviewing him and you were talking about all the political events and history, and you were living and being in that area, but I just remember thinking as a content creator, like, this is a video in itself placed in the middle of a video, like, and I just feel like in the world where it's all scrolling and people watching AI generated slop, right? I don't know, it's like, I just wish it could get lived in a different way, like a longer version of that interview, because I'm sat there, like, it's on, I'm in the room, like, cleaning my shoes or whatever, charging my cameras after being on the bike all day, and you're talking about somewhere in Bangkok, and I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden there's this part where it's like captivating me, and it's so amazing. I'm like, always thinking, and this is the question I've got for you, and I'm sure you guys all have the same question. Where do you get all this stock footage of Bangkok in the 60s and the 70s? Where are you getting this from?
You have to dig deep. It's not on YouTube. Some of it is on YouTube. But then I do searches on in Thai on Facebook groups. There's old discussion forums, and then you'll be searching for something. So some obscure building down the road. You know, you do a search in Thai, there might be an old picture of it on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook pages dedicated to history. And then someone might leave a link to something else. And then you click that link and you'll find it. And you end up hours, it takes hours. And then sometimes you don't find what you want. And I think, I could lie about it and pretend.
You're going to be able to generate it on AI. So.
Yeah, exactly. And well, that's the thing, I don't...
Cat in a soy in 1969.
Yeah, that's good, but... Oh, no, that's my other shot. No, I don't... I wouldn't use those AI.
The gentleman at the back.
Scott, no.
Cole.
Cole? Oh.
So, all of you, I'm a subscriber to all of you. 309,000 subscribers, 124,000 subscribers, Jaron. 104.
Hey.
60.
105?
My question is, fantastic. You should subscribe to Carl.
Yeah, Cole. Cole is one bar of wisdom. Most of it's his wisdom.
I'm the OTR guy over there.
I'm Danny Diggy.
Great content. So, my question is this your main source of monetization, or is this a side gig?
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
I do.
Obviously for you, I would assume it is.
Yeah, okay.
I do walking trips. Occasionally I do presentations or lectures. YouTube itself doesn't bring in that much for me, because sometimes there's 3 weeks between videos, because I'm so busy with the walking trips, I have to balance it. But yeah, that's real.
Well, in my case, I with globaltravelmate, I'm trying to inform people about Bangkok and all the new things that are going on, but I'm combining it with a real estate company. So the real money I make with real estate. So when somebody watches the videos, I always knew that people were watching YouTube videos before they go to a destination, right? So I'm thinking like, that's what you said, 1,500 videos. I'm just like pushing videos out. And I don't take 3 weeks like Pat does, because that's impossible, right? And when people then realize that we do real estate, that's how I get the customers and that's how I make the money. So with YouTube, I can make you can make quite a good amount of money, but I don't do sponsored deals. So I don't make any money on the site, which you guys do, right? So maybe Paddy can say how we do.
Yeah, YouTube's my job. I do it 100%. I'm starting to get some things happening outside, like the book. I don't know if you guys know I'm writing a book. That was amazing. Thank you, Pat. He recommended me to the company, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got through to the first stage of interviews, whatever. Yes, to answer your question, YouTube is 100% my gig, and if I had my channel deleted, I'd probably be on the streets.
For me, I do it for fun. I mean, I retired 4 years ago, and so it has its upsides and its downsides. I make videos only about things that I'm genuinely interested in. I get a lot of people that approach me with topics that I don't want to do, that lots of other people do. I've only done one sponsored deal, and you know, like all these guys, we get hit up by a lot of sponsors. Majority of them, it's just AI slop that they've never watched your channel. It's just bullshit where they tell you, "Oh, I love your stuff. Will you please advertise this, you know, woman's bra?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's perfect. I know I'm getting fat, but give me a break, you know." But at the same time, the problem for me is because I do not rely on it for an income. I'm lazy in the sense that I'm not hungry. So, you know, I've gotten lazy recently. I'm probably making one video every 2 weeks. And honestly, unlike these guys who put in a lot of times, half my videos are shot, like the last video, the electronics video. I shot it Wednesday morning, afternoon, and I edited Thursday morning, and I uploaded it. And you know, I consider my stuff more of a slop, and it's not self-deprecation. It's more just I think I make things really simple, and that's what works for me because it's what I enjoy. But no, it is not my income whatsoever.
You shouldn't care about comments at all. None of you.
Oh,
It's really just a complete bias, right?
No, but you need them. I think for me personally, even the negative ones, I leave them there because it's still
Really?
engagement.
I think.
Hey, I'm retarded. Oh, that's retarded.
I think that the question about do we make a living from this? A lot of this comes from people that are curious, like, can you also make a living from this? And how early can you make a living from this? So, for me, for myself, I've been very transparent with my earnings the entire way through. When I had less than 5,000 subscribers, I was earning around $2,000 US per month. Now, I was making a video every single day and building up a large catalog of videos. So, when you make a video every day, that's 30 a month. In, you know, over 3 months, you've just done like 100 videos that are all earning from you. So you can earn quite early, you can earn a decent amount if you put in that work. So for myself, I've got 700 videos on my channel that all earn, and you would have a large library as well, right? Okay. What this basically just compounds, and you earn off all of those videos. Well, the majority of them are getting views all the time. You can make a decent amount of money quite early on, and then how you turn that into a business is how you get to the next level. So I think my first month monetized, I made a few $100s. The second month monetized, it was like $1,000. And then very quickly it got to like $2,000. And then it just continues to scale up after that if you continue to put in the work. Now, I make much less videos now, but the sponsorship opportunities are extremely lucrative for us. And you can do 2 sponsors and earn more than I used to earn in an entire month. So to answer the question, if you can earn at a small channel, you absolutely can. You can earn well, but you get paid per view, per video basically. So it's all about the work that you put in. Jerome, you also used to make videos every single day, and you know how much that just builds up over time. Over 1,000. Yeah. There you go. Ah, great question. Yeah.
What are more important, views or subscribers?
Subscribers are not important because you get paid per view. It gets calculated to us per 1,000 views, but the view that you get is important and the location of the view is important. So people from the US, the UK, the West typically pay more. I had a video go up in Korea recently that didn't perform that well at first, but I was getting $17 per 1,000 views, which is much higher than I typically get. So it has a few varying factors. The views basically is how we get paid.
Because me and Adam talked about it, and Adam basically makes 3 times the amount of money than I do. If I have 10,000 views and he has 10,000 views, it's 3 times more because all his views are a lot of them are from Australia, right? And my views, I have more than 50% from Thailand, which means Thai people or expats that live here. And it's 3 times. There's a lot of difference, there's a big difference.
Mine's 65% Thailand.
Just to answer your question, the other thing I would add is you will see channels with 3-4 million subscribers and they're getting 20, 30,000 views because they've either given up or they've changed. But then you'll see channels with like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 subscribers and they're getting like 20, 30, 40,000 views, which that's really the impressive part. So it's like everybody else is saying, it's really about the views and it's really about how much of it they watch and again, where they're from. You know, like in the Philippines is going to pay very little versus somebody in the US if they watch because the advertisers, they pitch to certain countries, they different dollar spend and they're going to go for the countries with a higher income.
Just a short insight on the followers, right? So I went with my wife, we went to Siem Reap. And we made a video in Cambodia, and based on that video I got 15,000 subscribers, which sounds really cool. But the moment I got back in Bangkok, none of these 15,000 subscribers was watching my videos because they were all Cambodians, you know? So you can just take them off the 100 whatever I have, right? So that's the thing, and we all know that. Sometimes you make a video, for example, I made a video with the earthquake. and I got 600,000 views. Half of them were from India. And there's nothing wrong with India, but it was just for whatever reason some Indian channel pushed my video. But these people never watched anything after that anymore, you know. So that's the thing. It's the numbers don't say anything. And I always say you're as big or as good as your last amount of views, the last 3 videos. That's what I always look at. So if somebody comes in with 1 million subscribers and they get 900 views on the last video, then you know.
Yes.
I have a question, like it's a two-part question. First of all, as a YouTuber, how do you know, or do you know, or don't you know if a YouTube video you're creating is gonna be a hit or viral or whatever? Second part of this question is like, do you analyze your videos? I know, Paddy, you don't because you don't have YouTube Studio, right?
I have it now, but
yeah.
I'll just touch on the first part.
Yeah.
I know for a fact if my YouTube video has a title that says the word best island in Thailand, it's going to get 100 to 200 to 300,000 views, right?
It's the best?
Yeah, because it's that's the thing that people are searching, right? And my channel is established in the Thailand ecosystem, in the algorithm. So if someone in India, if someone in America, if someone in Canada, Australia is like, what's the best island in Thailand? I'm going and I need to know. My fucking face is going to show up and they're going to watch my video because it's got loads of views. And views is a clickbait. If there's a video with 300 views, they're not going to watch that because they'll be like, oh, that's rubbish. But that one's got 1 million. And then there's a video of me saying this is the best island in Thailand, number 10, number 9, number 8. And I've made that video 6 or 7 times in a row, worded it differently, shot it differently, said it differently. But that is an algorithm video that I do when it's the end of the month and I'm like, oh, I need to get a little bit of extra money. Right, I'll be honest with you. There are other videos where I upload it and I go, this is utter shite, but it's the best I've got, and I love to be consistent. That's the one thing that I commit to, is every Saturday, 6 o'clock, no matter what. And those videos have sometimes just blown up, and I'm like, that was shite. And then I'll walk across Madeira, spend 8 days filming it, shoot it, and like, it's incredible, and it will absolutely flop. But I knew it was going to flop. So I always do one for me, one for the algorithm. So that's the way I stay sane, because I have to treat it as a business, because it is my source of income. So I do chuck a few chickens, right? But then I'll sit down and really craft an artistic thing. And I'll just quickly tell a story about one of my most profitable videos. Was a video about me traveling around Seoul. And I got my iPhone out and I was filming me and my girlfriend. It is utter shite. This video is utter shite, right? It's like, you know, walk across that thing, eat that lollipop, right? We were on holiday and I just filmed anything that was interesting. When I got home, I edited it into, here's what to do and here's where to go in Seoul, right? And it looks quite nice and it's got music, but it's a shit video. When I finished the video, YouTube told me when I uploaded it, it said, oh, this is only 8 minutes. Sorry, it was 7 minutes, 59 seconds, right? And it said, if your video is less than 8 minutes, you can't get a second ad. I didn't know this, because all my videos are long. So I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. So I re-edited it with a 3-second clip of me just walking at the end, right? So it's 8 minutes, 3 seconds. Right, and I don't. This is probably a little bit. This is probably a bit sharing too much, but let me just quickly see how. I got this. No, I can't remember how much it's made, but it's gargantuan. What do I do? Soul. And this is because it was 8 seconds long. Am I spelling that wrong? It's S-E-O-U. There it is, a Seoul travel guide. I mean, this video is utter shite, right?
It is.
Have you seen it? Where's analytics? Analytics here. Sorry, guys. Revenue. $4,000 US. For one video. And it wouldn't have made any money if I hadn't have re-uploaded it and been walking for 3 seconds. So yeah, that's a little peek under the hood of how we can get creative sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for Paddy.
Sorry, yes?
So you mentioned in one of your videos that your Switzerland video cost $70,000 to make.
Yeah.
And I was wondering why. Why did it cost so much?
Yeah, so she was just saying, you know, your Switzerland videos cost thousands of dollars. They didn't cost 70,000, but it was around 10,000.
No, you said
70,000? I couldn't afford 70,000.
Well, that's what I
But yeah, some videos cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and some videos cost hundreds and hundreds of hours. That's why I get so much respect to Pat, because his videos are just like, oh my god, how long did you take to make this? This is incredible. But then I'll go eat street food with Gary, and we'll spend $10 making the video, and I'm like, oh, that was a productive, profitable video.
Last one.
So the question was, why did I pick Bangkok over Seoul? And it's not a great answer. I didn't pick Bangkok over Seoul. I got stuck out of Seoul during the pandemic. I was living there, I had a home there, everything. At the beginning of the pandemic, early 2020, I was in the Philippines, it was my birthday, and I was just having a week of madness and partying and having fun. And that's when everything started getting a little weird. And my parents were hitting me up, saying, you know, at the beginning in the media, it was like, COVID's really bad in Asia. So my parents were like, come home, you know, it's only a 6-week, remember, it was 6 weeks to flatten the curve. And we were a few weeks in, and I was like, I'll go home for 4 weeks and see my parents. And I got stuck in Australia for almost 6 months. And then Korea closed, and I could not get back there to where my home was. All my belongings were in there, and I just couldn't get back. Thailand opened just a tiny little bit, and I made I applied to get in here thinking this would be a stepping stone to get back to Seoul. So I got here. Seoul didn't open for at least another 2 years, or probably around 2 years. And by the time it had opened, this was now home, and Thailand is now my home, and I have great friends and a great circle and great community here. And when I went back to Seoul recently, I loved it and I miss it, but it's the people and the home feeling that I have here that I can't leave now.
I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone, and thanks to Adam, Paddy, Jerome, Serg. It's been brilliant. Thanks. And we got one more source which I'm going to give to Sharon. And if you're interested, I've got some shirts as well that I'm selling. One of them's a new design, so for everyone who's pointed out my shirts in videos and said, oh, can I get one? Here's a chance. Thanks, and thanks to Lewis and everyone here at O'Leary's. Okay?
Don't forget his shirts.
Well, can we have a massive round of applause for BangkokPat for organising it, please? Thank you.
Thank you.